Hello, my name is SuperCollide, and it's been at least 5 months since my last video from the GuildRock server. A heck of a lot has happened. I've done a hell of a lot of things, but none of them really have ended up hitting videos. And now this is probably going to be my last video from the server, because we just had confirmation that the server will be coming to the end. We'll be launching Season 8 in the not too distant future. As you can see, I've actually done some work on the sandbar down there, made a nice sort of beach resort type thing. I've got a turtle farm off there. We've obviously got my solarpunk outpost there. Dickie's Arboretum there that Cadawolf has taken over. Cyclone has built a little base there. And of all things, Cadawolf has actually finished his gigantic pyramid. So please, first of all, go check out his channel. Go see that video of him finishing that, because it's a phenomenal thing. But time to show you some of the bits and pieces I've been up to in the last 5 months. So my turtle and scoot farm. Selection of lovely beach lounges. I've made Al's sandbar out here to have a nice drink, and a tables for the restaurant, and up here I've got a holiday resort type thing. Now, both this build here and the bar are ones that other YouTubers basically have created. I've tweaked them a little bit here and there for my needs, but they are largely massively inspired by, borrowed from. So I am going to be linking to those videos in the description. This build here in particular is phenomenal, and I think S Major actually featured it not that long ago. It's a brilliant build. I've loved doing it. I've basically changed up the colour schemes and the wood and made a few tweaks, but it was just awesome to start with. And yeah, got myself a bar here as well. What else have I been doing? Well, time to show you.
So, Spawn seem to have quite a lot of the stores and things renamed. I mean, that should be Saloon and that should be Store. Vote Crooksy? Well, it used to say Vote Brooksy. That used to be the polls, but not anymore. Yeah, that's less appropriate. But, could be worse. Could be a lot worse. That used to say property of ET, didn't it? The other thing I've done is I built the church around here with the graveyard and encouraged people to put funny signs up there. And if you get a hold of the world download, I do recommend you just go and have a look and see what bits and pieces people have left behind there. Like I say, I left it open, and some of them are definitely quite chucklesome. Some are a bit more rude. So the other thing that happened is in our Guild Nether Hub, we spotted a route through to this, which is the Void, and it's built by ET Guild. They've blown a hell of a lot of space out there, and they made it look phenomenal. Unfortunately, it then meant I had to go and rescue some shulkers, from my farm and get them back into the nether, because my nether-based shulker farm was sadly hit by some TNT while they were doing that one, and I actually lost my shulkers. One of my shulkers is actually on the nether roof because it managed to teleport up there, so all this area around there was blown up. Other thing I've been doing is Cyclone built a wool farm and suggested that he wanted to look at getting an autocrafter in there to create a constantly refilling shears setup. And it's been a while since I've done any redstone, so he got most of this set up on himself. But then I ended up having to go and help out with this little device here. So it's a double chest full of shears and an autocrafter with iron ingots in it. So basically, every time a set of shears pulls through that second hopper that's got the comparator on it, basically it will create a new set of shears and just drop them in. So it will constantly keep refilling itself. The other thing I added was an item elevator, basically. So it's just a water channel up there, but it's collecting in all the wool and firing it into a large double chest just in case it needs the additional storage, but then spitting it into this dropper, which then fires it up through the channel there, and then it ends up in Cyclone storage way up the top, which is just a really simple organized chest rather than anything fancy in terms of storage on there. But it was a fun little thing to work on, and yeah, I really enjoyed getting my redstone head on for a moment. Of course, the other thing that happened is we had a whole new update in bringing in these trial chambers, and I've spent a hell of a lot of time in them. And this is particularly a snippet from a 2-hour session we had where we ran as many people as we could, and I just guided them through the trial chambers. I've done so many trial chambers. It's been ridiculous, but I've had a hell of a lot of fun doing them at the same time. So I've really enjoyed running the team through it, taking them through the fighting the breeze for the first time. I love the bogged. I think they're a great addition to Minecraft. And yeah, and the trial chambers. Obviously, we ran it once on normal, and then once on ominous. But I've cleared out enough that I've actually got 3 trial chambers set up for completely for farming. So this has changed a little bit since then, so I can actually go and farm wind charges off the breeze. But it's a really simple setup, so you just have to stand in the middle of the room and basically you fire them all off. It's great. All you need to do is dig it out and put a bit of glass in. But I've done that many that with a little bit of help from Bean, I actually got myself a Windburst 3 mace. This is going to be left in my base. There is a chest just near the potion brewers and things like that. So if you get the world download, you can see it. And I ended up actually creating a shop of all the trial stuff we've got there. And when I say I wasn't kidding that I did a lot, as you'll see in a bit, I'm currently selling quite well. You can see the amount of trial keys I've got there. But yeah, selling off the keys, the ominous bottles, the shards, the breeze rods, all sorts, including selling off the heavy cores, basically. I've got 3 of them to sell. I mean, I've got 3 maces and 3 to sell. I did hundreds of trial chambers. So the other thing was using wind charges. Brooksy had a really cool idea for a game that again needed a fair bit of redstone working out, where you basically end up trying to knock each other off with wind charges, and you could actually then set up the trapdoors to get triggered by the wind charges and to protect yourself or not from them. I had a lot of fun putting this together. It took me a lot longer than I thought it would do. And basically, it's reached a point where, while this is actually on the server, it never finally got released. Because I needed to go and reconvene with Brooksy and basically put it all together. And the final thing was, this is Plenty Two Towers. It was a farm complex I built. and it took me ages to try and work out what the exterior should look like. I'm still not 100% happy with it because I was trying to replicate a particular real life build, and it just was not flowing. So I finally polished it all off, and yeah, it's I'm glad I got it finished. It was a bit of a milestone build in the end.
So, all that said and done, what am I going to be doing for the end of the season? Oh, not a lot. I think I'll just be sitting here, have a nice drink, and maybe wait for it all to blow over. Although, I have got a nasty feeling there were some cats around recently. Can't quite remember what happened to them, but clearly it can't be that important, can it? Can it?